Welcome to the Champ and the Chump Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Idle, a.k.a. Chump, his royal chumpness. And joining me, as always, somebody actually worthy of a royal title, the champion himself, Mr. Lou Willard, is joining me. Lou, what is cracking, my guy?
Man, I can't complain at all. I still got my trophies back here. So that's going to be a staple on the show for at least one more season.
Yeah.
If I have my way, there'll be another one back there.
My trophies are behind me, too. The towels. They're proof that I survived it going out in public once or twice.
I need to get my terrible towel in the scene somewhere, but during the season, I usually have it with me, so they won't last long in the studio.
No. And your original terrible towel, for those that don't know, is in Canton, Ohio.
You know that's right.
Lou Willard's terrible towel was a first ballot Hall of Fame towel.
Yeah, signed it too. Signed it and everything. Signed it right on the back where you can't see it when they hang it up.
Oh, they're selling imprints of that shit on eBay right now.
Oh.
Anyway, we are not only here to talk about Lou's greatness in life and all things fantasy. We are also going to talk about trades, free agent strategy, and most importantly, when you need to panic. When to start making moves, when not to start making moves, maybe more importantly for people like your man here. So let's get into this. We can break this down numerous ways. Lou and I had talked off air before. Guillotine League, there's nothing really to talk about. It's fab. You're just managing your budget through the season.
I'm not trading anybody in that. If you can, I don't even know if you can. I never looked. That's just fab. I don't even think you can.
Yeah,
I'm sure somebody got something where they would tell us that we're wrong, but Guillotine League, man, whoever's team get eliminated, their players go bid on them and move on.
There you go. I wouldn't want to trade in the Guillotine League, and that's me saying that, and I will trade anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think you can, but I could be wrong. I've only only played it 1 year, but I don't see the purpose of trading it.
No. Absolutely not. Same sort of principle with dynasty leagues. We covered this in our draft strategy episode, I think last week. Dynasty's in a situation where you're either winning now or you're preparing for the future. And that determines how you trade, how you manage your fab, how you pick up free agents, etc. I mean, there's nothing clinical there, is there?
Well, I mean, you got to be pretty strategic about it, in my opinion, because how far out you're trading. Typically, when we talk about trades, like when we say we're talking about trade strategy, people automatically go to this coming season, and they're talking about trading individual players on a week-to-week basis, and they're right back on you. But then you're redrafting next year. With Dynasty, I could trade you a 2028 pick right now. So, man, that's why I don't get into it, because if we form a dynasty league and you guys want to, then I'm in. I'll get it. But boy, I'll earn that title too. Don't get me wrong. But it's not something I get it because I don't want to remember all of that. I know the systems are set up to remember it for you, but before you go making moves, I would have to go back and review everything I've done and realize I don't have any 2027 picks. My picks are gone. Dude, and now I got 4 people off the same team. I can't trade anybody. Nobody want anybody.
Could you imagine the Cleveland Browns in a dynasty league? Trading 5 years out.
Yeah, for quarterbacks.
Wilding.
Yeah, for quarterbacks.
Fucking Browns. Always doing Brown shit. All right, let's get into these other leagues. Again, we're going to talk about trade strategies here. Mainly, Lou and I's favorite and how we base most of the show off, because it's what 99% of you out there play, 12-team PPR leagues. Yeah. So taking that into consideration, context matters, especially in this sense.
Absolutely.
So free agents, and if we were smart, Lou, we would have brought on our guy Travis, because Trav is one of those guys. What do you call him? Tricky Trav?
Tricky Trav, yeah.
Tricky Trav. Travis is one of those guys in our main league that is a free agent monster. And he either lives by it and has total success, or he dies and flames out completely.
Exactly. And the thing is, we don't have a limit. I play in one league with a 20-player acquisition limit.
Mhm.
I don't like that. I mean, why are you putting a limit on it? He who sees a deal first should get it. I don't care if you use 20 of them. Travis could never play in that league. I believe in the last 2 years, he's had over 400 transactions.
It's insane.
I mean, I think, didn't he have over 200 this year? Or am I combining the last two? Yeah, okay.
No,
yeah.
he had over 200 this year, and I think a couple hundred last year.
It is hilarious. And I love it because I'll look at it and be like, of course, Travis beat me to the show. But that's what it's all about. So we'll have him on during the season for sure. But I don't know how much we're gonna get out of him during the season because he is very strategic with what he does. But if you always notice, I don't think dude ever misses the playoffs in our league.
No.
I don't think he ever misses it.
Nope.
And he's usually good for semis. I mean, he's always in it.
Yeah, dude, he has this unique ability to add drop, and it's important to mention there's two things I've noticed about how Travis does his add drops. One, he's not malicious. He's not just picking up players to block you.
Yeah.
If you're playing him this week, he doesn't care about that. He will use his entire damn bench as add drop bait and drop all of them and pick up a whole new bench squad and then drop them all and pick up a whole new bench. And he's doing it all in a way where he's beating you to the punch. He's beating the NFL Network and the ESPN pundits to the punch on the guys they're going to talk about.
Yeah, he is.
So studying is important if you want to get into that world.
And that's why you have to use your waivers, because the only way you stand a chance to get one of the guys that he's going to get from you is to put that waiver claim in. These guys waking up at one to do waivers at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning because they hope people didn't pick people up at 3 o'clock. That's dumb. Just put the waiver claim in and keep moving. That's all you had to do. But besides that, I love the way he does things, and it's a path that you should pay attention to because it's very successful.
It is, and you might struggle for those of you out there getting ready to dip your toe into the deep end of the water. You may struggle because it's a lot. You are constantly paying attention to it.
And not only that, but what's the biggest thing we all struggle with playing fantasy football? I don't care what your strategy is, whether it's mine of writing down 3 quarterbacks, whether it's Travis replacing his whole bench, whether it's you seeing how the draft falls. The one thing that we all struggle with right after the draft is what? You don't want to give up a player because you think in your mind he's going to blow up.
Yep.
So how he conquered that, I have no idea because dude's getting rid of the whole bench. So I have no idea how he can live with that. That would drive me crazy. That alone, I hate adding and dropping 1 or 2 players, but I do. Oh. But then I always go, I can't even look at what Rico Dowdle going to do this week. I done gave him up because I know he's about to go for 30. Just to name a quick pair off the top of my head. But that's one thing that we all do coming out of the draft is you hate to trade and strategize that way because we feel like the guy we give up is going to blow up.
And I think this speaks to a strategy you like to play, and I think Travis also plays and has to play with his free agent strategy, is you guys draft your starters and they start.
Oh, yeah.
You're not playing, well, this guy's matchup again this week is better. And no, your starters start. And that's, I think, one of the important keys if you are going to play that free agent game is like you have to be solid and very confident in your own mind about what these guys are going to do for you as your starting players.
And you have to be very comfortable the week they put up a 3 and give you 3 points. I don't care if it's St. Brown, AJ Brown, Gibbs, whoever, one of your first round draft pick, I'll just say that, gives you 3 points this week, 5 points next week. You better be okay with it because he can play. It's coming, which we'll get into that later when we talk about when we should panic, when we should not panic, that kind of thing. But the strategy that I employ, I'm drafting guys to start, and until they get hurt or just prove they've fallen off a cliff. Like I had a Buka. Man, he was looking like rookie of the year for the first half of the year. I left him in for 4 weeks in a row where he got me, I think, 11 or 12 points total.
Yeah.
And then I just had to give up or I had to cut bait and put him on the bench. And then because I figured no matter who I picked up, they got to be able to do that.
Right.
You know, they got to be able to do that. So, but I'm a firm believer in giving them a chance if I draft them to start them. And that's painful, but you got to be able to live with it.
I think you can segue a little bit into our panic conversation from there too, because that does speak where I have fallen prey to panic before. And full disclosure time, this is part of the reason I am called the chump on this show. It took me a while to adjust to the 3-game preseason and the fact that the starters do not play, ergo their preseason starts week 1.
Yeah.
So when I had guys out there, like, for example, Rico Dowdle, Joe Burrow, some of these other guys, like if you remember against the Patriots week 1, when the Patriots were terrible.
Joe Burrow is a perfect example because he always struggles out the gate.
Yeah.
Always.
First
so that's
3-4 games. Example. Yeah. And like those guys can bite you. And I fell victim to the panic in that and traded all, because I'm like, dude, they're fucking terrible. And it's not week 1, it's week 2, week 3, and that's like, dude, 10 points out of Burrow, 12 points out of Burrow, 9 points out of, it's like, I can't do this. I'm 0-3 to start the season with the main quarterback in the league putting up no points. I got to get rid of him. Instead, I should have been saying, calm down. It's okay. Do you have to read the tea leaves a little bit like that, Lou? Like I was clearly way too slow on the uptake with that.
What I like to do, it all depends on how your leagues work. Let's just I know I say that a lot because that plays into every decision you have to make. Some leagues, there's 12 teams, the top 8 make the playoffs, top 6 make the playoffs. There's some 12-team leagues, only the top 4 make it. Those are brutal leagues, brutal. Mm-hmm. If you're in that league, you got to make moves quick because you're 0-4. You got to look at everybody else's record. How far are you away from the 4th spot? But let's talk in terms of most leagues take 6 playoff teams. So we'll base it on 6. So if you're 0-4, first off, you can still win the division. You can still win the league because not only did the NFL get an extra game, so did fantasy football got an extra week. So you still get that week. So if you're 0-4, and some leagues do divisions, like our league does divisions. Mm-hmm. Well, just see how far out. I'm in another league where the top 3 of each division goes. Well, I'm 0-4, but the division leader's 2-2. I'm not changing much up because I'm right there. And, or in our case of our league, it's divisions, but it's still overall top 6. But we have divisions just for different awards. But our league is top 6. So, okay, I'm 0-4. Man, Travis is starting 5-1. Rich usually starts strong, but then he tends to fade. You start strong, you just collapse. Your teams just fall apart. Armando is very consistent. So you look at it, if they're 4-0, 3-1, and you're 0-4, depending on how that middle of the pack group is, you might want to make changes, or you might just want to wait because who has your team played? If your players have been facing a tough schedule, that means the schedule has to get easier. Somebody has to play the toughest schedule. Somebody has to play the worst schedule, but nobody's playing the top. Did they play 17 games? Mm-hmm. You're not playing the top 17 teams in the league. You're not. That's why the league is broken down into divisions, number 1. So you don't play the top 17 teams. So you have to express a lot of patience, in my opinion. Some people don't. I do. I'll go, okay, 0-4, what can I change? Because there may not be a change to make.
Right.
Change just for the sake of change may not be good change.
Well, yeah, you and I have fallen victim to that numerous times in trading between ourselves.
Yes. Whereas it's been like, we could have just kept these guys.
Exactly. So to basically sum up what you were saying is there's no need to panic as long as you are in sight of that last playoff spot. Stop looking at the top guy who might be 6-2 at week 8. Worry about that guy that's 4-4 because you can get up to him and take him out. Okay.
And look at the points for and points against. You could be the second highest scoring person in the league and you're 0-4. Because the first 4 weeks you've played who scored the most points. The odds that are to happen are slim, but it happens. Perfect example. Guy who won our other league last year, he was the last man in the playoffs and blew everybody else off and out, blew him out in the playoffs, including me.
Wow.
I was first victim, smoked. And he smoked the next two people, wasn't even close. And he ain't gonna do nothing when he get in. Wrong. Because remember, we don't control this. You don't control all this. This is luck of the draw. What were you going to say? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No. I think you just brought up another very interesting point. Let's cut through the bullshit and the strategies and the Travis getting deep in the weeds and he's the Adam Schefter of fantasy football. And how much of this just boils down to luck? Well,
luck plays a part in every game. And the luck plays a part. You got to get lucky. You got to get lucky to win an NFL football game is what I'm talking about. So
word. Yeah.
If they have to rely on some luck, we damn sure have to rely on luck. Because what happens if you go out there and say you do have a Josh Allen? Because we all know I love Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. First play of the game, he sprains his ankle. Goodbye game. Because you don't get to just put your backup quarterback in. You get his 0 points.
Right.
If that happens in a playoff game, I could be leading the league in points by 400 points. Mm-hmm. And my quarterback, I don't know, hits his hand on a helmet while throwing the ball. Done. So you do get that. But this game is highly dependent on your ability to strategize to put a team together. And that's why your strategy is so important. Because what if you do lose your quarterback? I suggest you have everybody else in your team that can hopefully get you 15 points. Because that's 8 times 15 and you still got a shot. If you got guys you know only going to put up, like when I was playing Ibuka for that stretch and I was losing because I hung on to him too long. You got to cut bait earlier. Now, that being said, I know I'm sounding hard on young man, which y'all know that's not the case because he's Buckeye. And number two, he'll be right back in the mix this year, right back in the mix, especially with Mike Evans gone too. He'll be right back in the mix.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But so your strategy is to put together the most balanced team that you can put together in the event that you do lose somebody mid-game or at the beginning of the game.
Agree. Let's say you do have a guy like Josh Allen gets hurt, knock on wood, we don't want that to ever happen.
Yeah.
Gets hurt right away. Now you're looking at, let's say it's a 6-week injury, right? High ankle sprain. The ultimate for any kind of runner.
Dreadful.
So you got a high ankle sprain, looking at a minimum 6 weeks. Now do you start looking at a trade? Do you look at free agency? Because we all know who's around free agency here, right? You're not going to find Lamar Jackson. You might be getting, you may not find a Bo Nix.
No, you won't find. Oh no, not this. No, no.
Those guys are gone, and I'm not even talking super flex league.
You're looking at Cam Ward.
There you go.
You're looking at guys like Cam Ward.
Do you look at a Jacoby Brissett or a Cam Ward in free agency to try and get you through, or do you try and trade some assets to keep maintaining? Assuming you're in a competitive state, not that you're completely blown out of the playoffs
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, number one, where are you at in the league? Because if you're in it to win it, who's your backup? I'll go with your backup. First, let me digress. If you have a 2 or 3 game lead at the point he gets hurt and he's going to be out 6 weeks, I'm just sticking my backup in and playing. Unless somebody falls to me, or if I do get lucky and find a Cam Ward, or even a Geno Smith with the Jets or somebody that can go out there and go sling it around a little bit and get you a couple points, I may pick them up. But I don't want to trade assets knowing I have a 3-game lead and he's coming back in 6, because the odds of me going 0-6 while he's out in fantasy football is hard to do.
Right.
I mean, worst case scenario, you go 3-3, you're still tied for first place. If the other guy behind you goes, 6-0 to catch you. Right. So that's hard to do. So you still have a cushion. If you're fighting for your playoff life, then if you can't pick a really good backup off the waiver wire, then you have to go, okay, Corey, I'll give you St. Brown, give me Barkley, knowing I don't really want to get rid of him, but I got to try to do something to make a spark, because I know even if I have a Cam Ward, I'm not going to hold up. especially if I look at what the teams, because you always go look at who you're playing. Well, man, they started slow, but man, they've been averaging this many points a week. They're coming. And then you look at their guys' schedules and go, man, damn, I'm gonna have trouble winning because I don't have a quarterback. So you got to give up something, which leads us to fair trades. What's a fair trade in fantasy football? We had this we discussed this a lot off air, and some of the trade offers are ridiculous.
I'll put our entire league on blast. We talk a lot about this off air because our league, our main league, sucks shit when it comes to trading. And it's not that the trades are bad, it's that there are no fucking trades.
Yeah.
Nobody will make a move. And there was never, I've been in leagues before where you've had, especially long running leagues, where you've had one trade that was so lopsided, somebody clearly got it taken advantage of, where nobody trades anymore. It just kills.
That's where it's important to vote on the trades too. And you can't be afraid to vote no. Don't vote no just to be an asshole because I don't want him to have them. That's going to make his team better. That's the purpose of the trade. The only time you go to veto on trades is I'm going to give you Josh Allen and Ahmad Rod St. Brown. Man, go ahead and kick me back Chuba Hubbard.
Yep.
No, you start vetoing those trades because then it's collusion. Collusion will get you kicked out of any league.
His catchphrase has been no collusion.
If somebody finds out that you're trying to stack somebody else's team so y'all can win, split the money, both of you are out the league. That should be a standard rule, written or unwritten in any league. But go ahead. I'm going to cut you off again. Sorry about that.
No, actually, I'm going to build off of what you said. If you need money so badly that you need to do that in fantasy football to win, don't fucking play fantasy football. You need to save that money.
Exactly.
You have no business playing this game.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit. I don't care if you're in a league with your boys or a league with total strangers. You ain't got to cheat. You ain't got to collude. That's bullshit. Don't do that.
Not worth it.
But you and I won't put words in your mouth. I love to trade. I love the activity of trading. I love the excitement of shaking things up. And I don't care who it is. I have guys on my team that I say it's a non-starter. Don't even ask. But you can ask, and there's a good chance if you make the right kind of offer. Yeah, I have no loyalty in fantasy football.
Which is a good quality to have.
None. I won't draft Patriots players, so I don't even mistake loyalty.
Yeah, see, when I first started playing, all I did was draft AFC North players. My team was full of the AFC North. I mean, and I was going 3-10, 2-11 till I figured out. But you just got to play to win. Like you got to draft some Arizona Cardinals, some New Orleans Saints, even though you plan to never watch their games. You have to draft those guys. But to your point, hey, look, you just got to be loyal to winning. You have to act like a true GM, like we all want to play. We are. That's why we play fantasy football. Mm-hmm. So look, if somebody ain't cutting bait, you got to cut bait. If you get it, somebody offer you a good deal, if you think it can make your team better, I don't have to beat you in the trade. I have to make my team better. People can look at it and go, oh, Corey hosed Lou on that trade. Long as Lou don't view it as Lou being hosed, I don't give a damn what you think.
He trade raped you. You've been trade raped.
Did not trade rape me.
Yes. Because I feel like my team got better. And that's all that matters.
That has been probably my biggest complaint about the lack of trading or the attitude of trading in any league is who won the trade. First off, no. We both won the trade if you can make appropriate trade offers. Because every trade offer I make, I guarantee you two things. One, on paper, it's fair as shit. It may seem lopsided player-wise, or if you're big into names, it may seem fucked up, but it's fair. And the reason it's fair on paper is because I'm usually giving up more assets or trying to get more assets in return for one big player, right? I don't like just doing that even swap shit. I hate that.
But here's the kicker, though. The only two people that has to think is fair are the two people involved in the trade. You know, some people could say our trade wasn't fair last year. And for those of you who forget, it was Ahmad Ron for Saquon Barkley. I like the trade because it's not trading for the same position.
Yep.
You
exactly.
know, I will trade the same position. I prefer to trade different positions.
Yeah.
But that's why if you don't think the trade is fair, when you say no on your vote, can you explain why? Because I'm not trying to cheat the league. I'm trying to do what's best for me. Or if you're going to say no just because, man, say St. Brown going to put Corey over the top, but getting Barkley might put me in the playoffs.
Right.
So therefore, I'm taking the trade. I'll deal with you in the playoffs if I get that far. But I got to get there first.
I have never cared about making my trade partner's team better. I've only cared about making my team better. If I make your team better, great. In the process, great. I'll see you in the championship.
See, because here you go. Guess what? That's why people don't trade, because they're too worried about making the other team better.
Yeah.
Listen, dingbat, you are going to make their team better in their own mind, or they would never trade with you.
Exactly.
So I don't care what you think. They think their team got better. That's the only why else is there to trade? We talked about the C word. We're not bringing it back up. But outside of that, why what other reason are you trading? You're trading to make your team better, whether it's because of lack of performance or injury, or your initial setup just didn't work. The goal is to make your team better. No other reason. So I can't possibly trade, say, with Armando, our producer, with Armando, and go, I got him. You know, his team ain't getting no better. In his mind, he would sit there and argue, or you'd have never made the trade. So people that come at that will never make sense to me.
No. Any good trade in fantasy football, both teams win. Period.
Both teams win. And that's the object. That's the object. You know,
it's the way it's supposed to be.
And when I trade with anybody, I'm hoping my guy don't fall flat on his face and lay an egg, because guess what? We're all human. Guys remember that shit. And then they'll go, nah, last time I traded with you, I got fleeced. Mm-hmm. You know, dude fell apart. My dude at least kept doing what he was doing. So then they don't want to trade with you anymore. So I'm hoping my guy can provide some value to the team I'm trading to. Even when I trade, you know, my backups, they're not going to be in my lineup. I might like your backup better than mine. And if, you know, maybe Mike Evans got hurt and I could get Ibuka to put behind him, you know, whatever, you know, situations like that. Those are trades you make.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And the best thing you can do in order to help make a fair trade, let's say you do have a desire to get Saquon Barkley off of my team. Go to my roster and look at what I have needs for.
There you go.
And then offer me those needs. Don't try and he looks like he needs a tight end. Here's Todd Breckenridge for the third string Carolina Panthers for Saquon Barkley. Oh, and I'll throw in J.K. Dobbins. That doesn't help me. And this goes to a secondary point. For those of you out there that think that is the idea of a starter offer, stop reading The Art of the Deal. Donald Trump is a horrible business person, and so are you. End of fucking discussion. That is insulting beyond belief to even present that to somebody as a starter offer.
Yeah, there are no starter offers. You're just come with what you want, and we can work from there. And to your point, go look at if I'm going to offer Corey a trade, and I guarantee you a team had this last year. I guarantee you a team had Bijan Robinson as a running back, and it would have been very feasible for that same team to have a Kenneth Walker.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. So now I'm sitting here. I need a receiver. So I'm going to offer you a running back. Don't offer the team a running. Do they need one? That's just as insulting as saying I'm going to offer you my third best tight end.
Yep.
Why would you offer me a running back?
Yeah.
When I have two bell cow starting running backs already. Just don't wait, because then I do believe in this, and we can touch on this in a little bit too. But I have to respond to your trade requests. If you're the guy that doesn't respond to trade requests, you're unprofessional.
Yeah.
I know it's all fantasy football, but somebody's still taking the time to send you something. Please just say yes or no.
Just hit
But
decline.
that's why I encourage people, before I send anything, I text you. Are you interested in giving up Barkley? You say yes, depending on when I get back, but I'm going to need a starting wide receiver. Okay, give me a second. What about St. Brown? Or actually, I think you said somebody else. I'm like, I got to keep dude because I had it in Jigma.
It was JSN.
Yeah.
I said I'll do
gotta
Barkley
keep
for
him.
JSN. You're like, JSN ain't going anywhere.
He
And
can't go anywhere.
You're like, I'll give you Nico Collins. And I said, I don't want Nico Collins. I don't trust that
Yeah, that's
team.
the same-
He's injury prone. I will take out St. Brown.
Yeah, because I didn't want to give up St. Brown, but guess what? I wanted Barkley. So you got to give up something to get something. So the thing is, so start with a text communication because you're in league with people, unless it's the national leagues that people play in. But you got everybody in your home league's phone numbers. Just text them and quit wasting time with that because they have 2 days to respond to these trade offers. And some people leave you hanging. Well, now by the time they left you hanging, waivers have run. You don't have time to do anything and you're on to the next week. Now, whose fault is that? I still say it's theirs because you sent it. They should at least respond with a no. You know, a no, a counter offer, something, a yes, who knows? But, so just keep the communication lines open. Lines of communication open. Yeah.
There's another psychological piece to leaving that shit open, being a trade offer, which is what if that player gets hurt? What if I offered you a trade for Barkley for St. Brown and all of a sudden Barkley gets hurt?
Yeah.
And you accept that trade real quick. Well, now I'm stuck with a guy that's hurt for the rest of the year and you got one of my best players. Again, it's not collusion, but it's dirty as fuck. And you don't need to play that way.
You don't need to play that way.
Once you start playing that way, everybody else is good. You're not the bad guy in the league. Everyone else will follow suit and rat fuck you every chance they get.
Well, no, that might get you kicked out of the league.
It'll also do that.
It might get you kicked out the league because the proper thing to do in that case is, man, I know we just agreed to a trade. Oh, now that just came out, Barkley was hurt last night at his house, slipped on a banana peel. Man, look, call the commissioner. And this, in our case, it's Armando. Armando, veto that trade, man. Just veto it. I'll deal with it. That my player, I'll find another running back. I'm not going to send him to you when we know he both got hurt before we agreed to the trade.
Exactly.
Just be, like you said, just be a good businessman.
Yeah, there's, and that's really what the trades are. Like, again, it's fantasy football and we're all supposed to have fun. And trades are supposed to be fun. Trades are the most fun you can have with this. Trades and trash talk are the most fun you can have in fantasy football in the regular season.
Because look, I have some advice for people. If you're a person that don't like to trade or refuse to trade, go play best ball.
There you go.
Best ball, you pick your 20 best players, and that's who you play with all year. You can't add drop either. There are no waivers. Some best ball leagues are your 20 players, and that's it. So you don't want to trade or be active in anything, go play best ball.
Yeah.
In other words, get out of this gene pool.
Exactly.
But if you're in this one, be active. Make at least one trade. Make at least one. It doesn't have to be a starter. Man, I'm looking at your bench. You looking at mine. Hey, man, I got boom, boom, and you got boom, boom. Okay, cool. We got some action going.
Yeah. The only person that should never trade in a fantasy football league is the undefeated guy. You truly have not lost a single game. You have no reason to trade anybody. Everybody else, you have a weakness somewhere. Bump it up with a trade. Don't rely on the breakout free agent guy because the Travis in your league is already got him. I guarantee you.
And another thing I'll guarantee everybody, if that undefeated guy's name is Corey, he's still trading. He's still going to trade. But he does make a good point. I think Armando started off 10-0 last year. Somebody started off 10-0 in our league.
Somebody did,
it's like, damn, somebody, or if it wasn't last year, it was a year before, somebody started 10-0.
I think it was Armando, producer Armando, because he got absolutely ravaged by injuries. Like he was out. He housed his whole team in San Francisco, and they all were injured, and he just got dog whistle.
Yep, because he got the bye to the semis, and then but come the semi, he didn't have anybody because everybody all of a sudden got hurt, which was crazy.
Yep.
But if you're that guy, I mean, I'm not sure what somebody can offer you. It has to be so lopsided for you to take it. Like, why would you disrupt your 9? You got 9 that's working. You might move somebody off your bench, but if you get rid of a starter and you're 7-0, 8-0, man, you're taking a chance. But you know what? Sometimes you take a chance.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you lead. Sometimes you follow. I don't know. It's a country song, and I don't like country music. So,
okay.
Moving on. I like country music less than I like people that trade. That's how much I like country music. Anyway, when it comes to trades, I know we've talked about lopsided and balanced and being fair. Let me throw out a couple of options maybe this year that could seem interesting to you. Again, in the 12-team PPR league. And this is prior to week 1. I don't know if anybody else does this. I know it's not going to come as a shock. I'm a big fan of looking at my team right away and being like, this guy needs to move now. I know he doesn't fit. It doesn't work. It was a bad pick. I was forced into it. Get him the fuck off my team. I will do that before the season starts.
And you know,
I didn't want him. I didn't want him.
Why'd you draft him?
Because I was forced into it.
No, you were not. He wasn't the only and the last guy on the board. That's the only way you would be forced into it. If he was the only guy left. I have seen you make trades before the season, and definitely after week 1. I'm like, we're trading already? It's the fourth quarter of the first game. Corey got trade proposals out.
Look, I have no tolerance when it comes to subpar performance.
You have zero. True. Another way of saying you have zero. You want the action so bad. You have zero patience to keep the same team. Travis doesn't trade a lot, but he changes over his team a lot using other methods, like we spoke on. You like, nah, we got to get some trades going. Which I agree. Last year, I think it was total of 2 trades. I mean, come on. Yeah. Come on, guys. Do better.
I think you were involved in both of them.
I believe so.
Which is crazy because I put out a league-wide statement. I was not trading. This was going to be the first year I did not trade, being last year. And I lasted until about week 12.
Yep.
Without making a move. And I had to do something because my team was just middling because I was suffering the Baker Mayfield of it all.
Yeah, when I literally fell off the cliff, that killed you.
I had Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and I think Rachaad White. And it just it was a nosedive.
You looked good through 6 weeks, and then after that, fell apart.
Yeah, so not great. And again, this is early. I know it's all going to be situationally based, but just some trade candidate names, not necessarily like, would you trade this guy for this guy? Because that's who knows. But just some good trade candidate names on some rosters right now. And I'll start with your Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Rico Dowdle has potential to be huge as far as a trade candidate for a lot of fantasy teams.
A lot of teams are going to want him because they're going to use him. They're going to use him exactly how you think they are. Remember Eddie Lacy? I think McCarthy was Eddie Lacy's coach, wasn't he?
Yeah.
They're going to use him like Amon Green. They're going to use him like those guys because he's a big physical inside runner, which is what McCarthy wants. And he's going to take a lot away from Jaylen Warren in this system. I do believe Warren will catch back up in the passing game. But to your point, I was consider them both of them huge trade candidates because you might want to go to the owner of Rico Dowdle and go, hey, I have Jaylen Warren. You want Warren in case Rico gets hurt? And if the unfortunate event, like we always say, we don't want anybody to get hurt, but say he does get hurt, you definitely want to reach out to the Jaylen Warren owner and be like, what do you need? But now these are trades that when it comes to winning and losing trades, you are going to have to give up a little bit more than you would normally want to because you just lost your starting running back. He knows it. He knows you're picking up Warren because Warren's going to be the clear, uncontested starter now.
Yep.
Look, you got to give me a little bit better player than I would have normally asked for too. That's called being a good businessman. I'm not asking you to give me, Jamar Chase, but I'm
Right.
going to ask for a pretty good number 2 wide receiver because I'm giving you a starting running back.
That's the theme I want to go with these names.
Yeah.
Everybody's starters, but they're more that second, third tier, I think, starter that is just a name to get in your head of somebody you can either target or somebody you could potentially draft knowing you are going to use them as trade bait.
Yep.
I don't think he'll necessarily get drafted, but I think Malik Washington from Miami, who is there right now, number 1 receiver, huge trade bait.
I think he'll get drafted just because you have to start 3 wide receivers. I mean, you really don't, but 36 of them are going to start. In these flex leagues, people are starting receivers. So, and then you got another 3 on your bench. I think he's going to get drafted. And not to mention, he's the option in Miami.
Yeah, that's my main thing. I think he's going to be a surprising target hog in Miami.
So he's going to be a huge trade target because of that. Like you can go, okay, I got JSN, which means I also have not Tyler Boyd, but T Higgins.
Yep,
I also have a T Higgins. Man, if I could get Malik Washington, because I know he hogging targets, that's a pretty good threesome for the receiving core for you.
Hell yeah, it is. Another guy I think is going to be in that category, and it's not because of his talent, it's because of his team, Garrett Wilson.
Oh, yeah. See, what's going to happen with Garrett Wilson is a lot of these guys you're talking about, it's going to come into, man, I got to get into the playoffs. Yep. What can I do to get into the playoffs? And everybody you're naming right now is a perfect trade deadline candidate to put that team, even a team that's in the playoffs, and I can look and go, man, if I can get Garrett Wilson, then get me to another one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he has a quarterback now. Geno Smith, not the greatest quarterback, but he's a competent one who's going to throw him the ball a ton. So that's where you're really looking at these guys that you're naming. It's right at the trade deadline or in the event of an unfortunate injury.
Yes, there is that. Finally, I'll give you one more name, and I think if he comes back, it could be special for him and the team overall. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on Tank Dell this year, and I think you can get Tank Dell if he can come back. I think he can be in a position where you could draft him and not have to start him and use him as trade bait for somebody that needs somebody.
See, I think he's the guy that won't get drafted. Like, okay. I know where you were going with Malik Washington, but if they still had Waddle and Hill, Washington may not have gotten drafted.
Yeah.
But they don't. So he will. But Tank Dell is on a team with Nico. The other guy's name escaped me, but they have receivers, and they're going to draft one. I guarantee they draft one. So he can slide through the cracks at the draft, and you can pick him up. But what you want to do with him is you want to be the guy to pick him up because you know somebody's going to need him, especially if you see that, okay, man, I watched the first week. Now, you're running a risk of not getting him here. When I say this, you watch him over the first 2 or 3 weeks and realize he's playing 20, 25 snaps and getting 5-6 targets. You might want to pick him up because they're clearly using him and they clearly have a plan for him.
Yes.
But like I say, we play in leagues with people like Travis who strategize on this all the time. They snatch him up. I can't cry about it because I decided to wait 1 or 2 more weeks to see what he was going to do.
Exactly.
So it's a good strategy on their part.
Let's face facts. Part of the reason I brought up Tank Dell, he's on the Texans. The Texans are the 49ers of the South, meaning everybody on that roster is going to get hurt.
Yeah,
Tank Dell at some point will be the number 1 receiver on that team.
But shoot, if he's not the one, again. He's the one that keeps getting hurt. So we'll see. But I like that list. I like that list.
Yeah, just a couple names to throw out there. Some guys that everybody knows that will get some playing time, will get some touches. But again, aren't your top guys. Those are the guys you should be looking. Again, they're not specific, like go get them now. But those are guys to give you an idea of what you should be targeting in trades. Don't always go for that home run. Getting Jamar Chase from the guy that picked him up second or third
You're not getting
Man.
it. Don't even ask.
No.
It's like, don't even ask. Unless you're coming with, because the guys you have to give back, your team is the same.
Yeah.
Your team is going to be the same. If somebody's willing to trade you Jamar Chase, it's because you're giving them back JSN and a running back. Exactly. Now your team is worse. Your team is worse, and you picked up Jamar Chase, so don't waste your time asking. And a swap for JSN and Jamar Chase, it's a neutral swap. I know we can argue, debate who's better, who's not, whatever. That's a different show, different time.
Yeah.
But you're just trading for the sake of trading at that point in time.
Let me ask you one more question, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Because I think you just brought up something very interesting here with JSN and Jamar Chase. They're the same player, basically, point-wise. JSN was actually better.
They're going to light the board up for you, regardless of who you have.
Jamar Chase will get taken before JSN. It might be a pick. It might be 2 picks. But I think Jamar Chase is probably getting taken.
It's going to be close. One thing to play into that, do you think, like, JSN just got $42 million a year. He seems like a high character guy. So I think he'll play even though he got his bag. But if you think he's one of these guys, like I look for George Pickens to fall off a cliff when he get paid.
Oh yeah, George Pickens.
I don't see JSN doing that. I see him ratcheting it up a little bit more now that he got his bag.
I think they, like most Super Bowl teams do.
Yeah,
that was the NFL trying to penalize my tongue right there for even trying to say it. But for most Super Bowl winning teams, they lose some stuff, and not necessarily
they lost a lot.
Some drive. They lost some talent on that team.
Yeah,
and frankly, I think Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold.
Oh, he is. I mean, Sam. So, I'm glad the young man revitalized his career, but he's not Joe Burrow. Yeah, he's not Joe Burrow.
So I just in that respect, I would take Chase over JSN from a fantasy perspective. And so, with that said, just speaking, I take Jamar Chase 3. Do I treat him like a 3 all season, even if he's not performing like the 3rd pick? Basically, what values your trade? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm in week 5 or 6 and I see Jamar Chase is struggling, I'm not offering you a trade value that is for 1st round 3rd pick. I'm offering you what he's doing now.
You can't.
But I know there are guys that do that.
And they're just wasting their time. They're wasting their time. Because I can tell you what, anytime I pick in the top 5, odds are that guy's probably not getting traded unless it's a trade like we made. Star for star. Okay, cool. Because both of them were just middling. So, and you needed one, I needed the other, so we just swapped.
Yeah.
But if Jamar Chase is a guy I'm willing to lose with. If it just wasn't his year, okay. He's bound to have one. You just got him the year it wasn't his year. It's like trading JSN. I'm not doing it.
Right.
Why? Because I'm willing to lose with him. So Josh Allen, willing to lose with him. So have guys on your roster, like when I say they're not tradable, it's because I'm willing to lose with them.
Right.
Even if they're having a bad year, they're not a bad player. Like Jamar Chase has proven to be quarterback proof. All the quarterbacks that run through in Cincinnati, but he just dials it up to a whole nother level when Burrow's playing. And another reason you would want him over Jamar Chase, JSN, people can make the argument. Seattle's a running team. Cincinnati's a passing team. That's the biggest thing. That's what I thought you were going to say. Just because one team runs the ball, the other team passes the ball.
No, I'm a chump. I went with the other stuff.
I mean, you went with a different set of facts. And I just went with another set of facts. But nonetheless, if I got guys like Jamar Chase, I'm just not trading. I'm not. When that sink ship, he gonna be on it with me.
Okay. I have to do this. I have to do this. And then I promise we will leave. So Jamar Chase is on a sinking ship. Joe Burrow's hurt. And for whatever reason, they don't have Joe Flacco. You got Jamar Chase going about 12 points a game. You're sniffing the playoffs, but you're not there. You get offered Garrett Wilson, Malik Washington, Rico Dowdle. You're offered a load for Jamar Chase. Every player we mentioned.
Oh, if you offered all three, yeah,
all three of those guys for Jamar Chase, would you do it?
Yeah,
or?
To try to get into the playoffs, yeah. But
so truly, nobody's untradeable. It's just
nobody's untradeable.
That's actual value.
Yeah, that's what I'm just spitting out my mouth. But everybody can be traded. But yeah, when you're coming at that, because I'm going to start Rico, I'm going to start Garrett Wilson for sure, and may put Malik Washington in my flex. So I've got 2 starting wide receivers and a starting running back. No, I mean, but no one's coming that high with him only doing 12 points a game.
Right. No.
You know, now
I was making a broad example
But if they're that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna build on that. But if they're 12 points a game, and they know they're in the playoffs, and they can go, man, I know he only give me 12, but he'll bust out with Scott Browning quarterbacking.
Mm-hmm.
He can bust out at any minute. And Lou, his little 12 points ain't helping Lou. I already got Ahmad Ron or a JSN. Lou need him. I don't need him. But what Lou needs is 2 receivers putting up 15 a game, which I have. That gives him 30 over the 12 he was getting. And, so offer me Washington and I forget who else you said in that scenario.
Washington, Garrett Wilson, and
Washington, Garrett Wilson. Or even if you look at my roster and go, I need a running back. And Dowdle's the starter in Pittsburgh. So, man, yeah, I'll take Garrett and Dowdle in this case, because if I can win these last 2 weeks, I'm in the playoffs. Then who knows what happens?
Right.
Who knows what happens? I don't care if I just set you up with JSN and Jamar Chase, because, like, again, Cincinnati might go to Buffalo in the playoffs and it'll be a snowball.
Yep.
You don't know. It might be pouring down raining in Seattle. Those guys have off games. So, and here I got a big physical middle of the pack runner, and I got a reliable, dependable receiver. So that's a trade that can happen. But those trades are, like you said, they're deadline trades.
Yeah.
You know, you're not getting that trade at the beginning of the year. Those are, if the trade deadline is November 24th, you're seeing those trades made the 22nd, 23rd, and even on the 24th.
Yep. And I just want to clear this up for you. I was not by any stretch trying to put you on the spot saying nobody's untradeable. I was actually just, I was earnestly being like, damn, maybe nobody is tradable. And I'm like, well, no, that doesn't.
No, because you can create a situation where because you can create a situation where people are. Situation you create is very realistic, because just sticking with him with those 12 points a game, I'm going to get beat. But you can offer me something that's going to, you can look at these numbers. They consistently putting up 30, 35 between the two of them. I got to get rid of this 12. That's 23. I'm a net 11.
Yep.
So I just got better by 11 points a game. That wins you. How many games have you lost in weekly in fantasy football being the royal you by 11 points or less? What could that do for your record? Just last year, go back and look at the games you played and look at your losses. How many of them by 11 points or less? And then there you go. That's how important that trade could be for you.
Yep. And I'd say 95% of our listeners would go, all of our games. We lost all of our fucking games by 11 or less points.
Yep. Because they're always close, or you get beat by 60. And you get beat by 60, doesn't matter who you had.
Yep. Yep.
Your whole team, the team went off on you, or yours laid an egg, but whatever it was a combination of the two.
Absolutely. The way I've always looked at it, to wrap up the show, is the trade in fantasy football is a lot like trading on the stock market. You stay active, you're going to keep with it. You're going to end up making some money. If you just buy something and you just sit down and don't do anything, eventually you're probably going to lose your money. Statistically, that's what it says.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
thanks for the thanks for the free stock advice too.
Yeah, that's me, Captain Insider Trading. Don't listen to that.
Shoot.
Anyway, Lou, you got anything else for the fine people at home?
Hey, once again, guys, as I always tell you, thanks for coming back, listen to another episode. We're really enjoying bringing you guys this content. It's starting to ratchet up. The draft is literally 3.5 weeks away, maybe 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks away. Yes. So we're right on time. So please hit that like and subscribe button. Subscribing is free. Doesn't cost you anything. Just helps us get into the algorithms and then let you know every time we release a show. So again, thank you much. We appreciate it.
There you go. And with that, I will end it as I always do, telling you all to get ready to level up your podcast playlist with the heavy hitters at Calibration Media Group. Dive into the hilarious and unfiltered world of Kiss the Reviews, where your favorite movies get the comedic roasting they richly deserve. Master your look with Fashion Beyond 50, the ultimate guide to style and confidence for women in their prime. For the fantasy fanatics, the Champ The Chump Fantasy Football Podcast delivers the winning strategies and relatable talk you need to dominate your league. Hey, I was just talking about us. And don't miss Lou's show, Backstage Buckeye, your all-access pass to the stories, personalities, and behind-the-scenes action of the Ohio State University Athletics. Find your next obsession over at calibrationmediagroup.com. For Lou Willard, I am Corey Idle. We will catch you on the flip side.